Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. So this is the second interview from our language team, and I'm very happy to be here with Michael Anslow, who is another researcher from our language team. And I would ask you to explain better what is your role and your main field of studies inside Sony CSL Paris.
Okay, so in Sony CSL Paris, what I'm interested in and what we do as the language team is to work on creative assistance using artificial intelligence. We're very interested in the process in which people can use tools to help them enhance their creativity and keep their fluency when they're in a creative process.
Okay, thank you. And would you like to explain more precisely what is the main purpose of this project, the writing assistant?
So the idea is that, say you have a piece of text that you already have composed here, as we have on the screen behind us. In this case, it's Rome is a beautiful city. What you can do is go into a generate mode where you can decide to change this text in different ways to give you new ideas. So let's change, for example, beautiful and city. So Rome is a great city. So by taking the existing sentence and masking certain tokens in it, what we can do is change, get variations of it that perhaps we wouldn't have thought of before. The point of this is that whenever you are writing, sometimes you get into something called writer's block, where you just don't know what to say next, or what to write next, rather. Yeah.
Okay, and this tool is helping the writers to overcome that block.
Indeed, indeed. So the idea is to always be able to be in some kind of flow by having different ideas that you can always have at hand, right? So you can always ask this tool to generate something new, where perhaps you wouldn't have something in your mind at that time that you would like to write. And as soon as you see these ideas, you can incorporate them back into your text and keep writing as you would normally.
Okay, can we have another small demonstration for the functioning?
Okay, I mean, we can. So what's interesting with the tool is when you remove quite a lot of the context that's already there. So right now we have Rome is a, and let's remove Rome, for example. And now let's generate some sentences. So now that we've removed Rome from the concept, from the text that's there, we see that it's much less constrained than it was before. So we have, this is a dilemma, completely unrelated to anything to do with the city. He is a good man. He is a great man. So these all introduce new situations that you might not have considered in writing that you can then reincorporate into your text and continue from there.
And so it's like an inspiration.
It's an inspiration engine.
Okay, great, interesting. And why do you think AI is so important for writers?
So I think it's important to first say that conventional writing will never go away, right? People have their particular process of writing, and that's great, and we have wonderful texts that are composed. However, sometimes you really just need something to keep you going, something to start from even. So imagine you are, we also work on lyric generation. Imagine you are a great songwriter, but you focus on the music. You're a great guitarist, you've made a composition, but where do you start? So with our tools, what you can do is have a first sentence, for example, of your song and work from there. Importantly, AI is great at creating generations, new generations of text, but we as the authors, as the writers, we know what we find aesthetically pretty pleasing to us. So we are always evaluating these sentences and deciding how to build our text with our AI assistant. So it's important to remember that the human is always in the loop. We are not interested at all in it being done all automatically, and it's actually quite boring as a writer to see suddenly an entire piece of text in front of you that you had no input in creating.
Okay, thank you. And can you say something about the relation between AI and writers, or between the AI and other kind of artists, for example?
I don't think I understand.
Because you told that this could work as a wellspring of inspiration for writers, and I'm asking you, what about the relationship between the writer and the AI?
Oh, okay, great. So I think one thing that's radically different with using artificial intelligence in your writing process is that typically when you write, all of your concepts, all of your intentions are locked away in your head. But for the AI to know how to help you, you need to essentially annotate your mind onto the page so that it can understand what you're trying to say. This is not something that is currently done in language generation tools, but it's really the future. It's really what has to be done. So as a writer, you will essentially be telling the AI what you intend to write, set up an entire scene, perhaps define the sort of background context that's interesting, the emotion, the theme, hit a button, and then generate the piece of text that represents one realization of the intentions that you have. So it's a really different writing process, I think. And it's not for everyone, right? But I think there might be some people that really get inspired by this process that wouldn't otherwise write. And I think that's really what we're going for with these kind of tools.
Okay, so do you already know something about the possible development of these tools, or
I think it's really right at the very beginning. I think this is perhaps the first of its kind, where you really have an interactive kind of creation that's happening. There are lots of people looking into generating text, but these are mostly researchers that aren't necessarily interested in the interaction between these models and between the writer themselves. But we really want to understand how people want to use these tools and what they need. And currently, a lot is lacking. So there's really decades of research to go into this, and I think we're all in for a very interesting future writing experience with such tools.
so? Thank you, Michael, and thank you. I really appreciated all these things you said to us, and so I think we will wait now for the next speaker to come, because we have the last interview from the language team.